Have you ever worn something that felt off, like a heaviness you couldn't explain? Today, we're exposing hidden dangers sewn into the fabric of our lives, objects so subtle yet so destructive they can shape your destiny without your knowledge. Have you ever wondered why certain things in your life just don't move? You pray, you plan, you work hard, yet doors remain shut, peace feels distant, and breakthrough seems like a myth. My friend, the answer might not be in your prayer, it might be in your closet. See, the enemy doesn't always knock on your front door with horns and smoke. No, he's smarter than that. He comes in quiet, he comes in crafty, he comes in camouflage. He knows that if he can't control your mind, he'll try to influence your environment. And what's closer to you than what you wear? The power behind the fabric is real. You may think it's just a bracelet, it's just a scarf, it's just fashion. But what if I told you that fashion can be assassination in disguise? What if something sewn into that hoodie, that dress, that pendant was never meant to decorate you, but to dominate you? Let's be real, some of us are walking around in outfits that carry assignments, assignments to delay, to disturb, to discourage. That item might have been gifted to you, handed down, or even bought on a trip, but was it really just an accessory, or was it an access point? Energy transfers, symbols matter, and certain objects carry agreements. Agreements you didn't speak, but you wore. You didn't sign, but you carry. And now your relationships suffer, your sleep is broken, your finances are trapped, and you can't figure out why. But the truth is, something is speaking over you every day without a mouth. You think that necklace is vintage. Think again. That charm you wear for good luck. It's not luck, it's leverage. That stitched pattern from a market stall. It's not art, it's an invitation. And every time you put it on, you're not just wearing cloth, you're wearing command. Now hear me, the danger is not in the cotton or the gold or the shape. It's in the intention attached to it. Because the spiritual realm respects objects. They can be doors, they can be keys, they can be chains. So what's covering you? What's been touching your skin every day, wrapping itself around your body, whispering messages to your future, binding your favor, silencing your voice? You need to go back and inspect the fabric. Go through your drawers, go through your jewelry box. Don't just look at the color, look for the assignment. Ask yourself, what entered your life after you started wearing it? What changed in your atmosphere? Because until you confront the invisible behind the visible, you'll never walk in full freedom. And if this is what's hiding in your fabric, wait until you discover what's sewn inside it. Because up next, we're uncovering how the enemy hides in plain sight right in your wardrobe. Are you ready to see it? What if I told you the most dangerous attacks against your destiny don't come with noise, they come stitched into silence? Let's talk about threads, not the kind you shop for, but the kind that speak silently, the kind that bind, invisible, the kind that enter your life through a simple gift, a fashionable jacket, a trendy cloth, or a cultural design, and suddenly everything shifts. You start feeling confused, you're heavy, your dreams get foggy. You used to walk with clarity, now it's chaos. But there's no accident here. You've just put on something that didn't come alone. It came carrying unseen threads. They hide in plain sight. A color, a symbol, a pattern, even a cut, designed with intention. You didn't know it when you bought it. You didn't sense it when you wore it. But the moment it touched your body, it began transmitting, sending frequencies into your life, inviting forces you never agreed to, but you gave them access when you wore their identity. See, when you wear something, you represent it, and some things aren't just clothes, they're costumes designed to cloak your purpose, designed to attract delay, failure, confusion, designed to mock your identity. You thought it was just fashion, but it was a form of framing. To frame your future with struggle, to frame your spirit with weakness, to dress you in someone else's story, someone else's curse, someone else's warfare. That head wrap, that strange woven bracelet, that top with the cool ancient symbol you never understood. Ask yourself, why did you feel off the moment you put it on? Why did your peace disappear when you received it? It's because threads can bind, and when something is woven, it's joined, it becomes one with you, and now you're not just wearing cloth, you're wearing confusion, you're wearing defeat, you're wearing delay, and worst of all, nobody suspects it. That's the genius of the attack. The enemy doesn't want to scare you, he wants to style you, to dress you up in dysfunction, to make you love what's killing your clarity. That's why discernment must become your first line of defense. Before you wear it, discern it. Before you gift it, inspect it. Before you receive it, question it. Because what you wear wears you back. What you wear can war against you. The wrong thread can turn your favor into frustration. The wrong fabric can shift your season. You think you're being trendy, but you're being targeted. And if invisible threads can carry spiritual sabotage, what happens when the object isn't just sewn in but built into the very purpose of the item? Because up next, we're uncovering the objects that don't just hide, they come out. Stay alert. The wardrobe war has only just begun. Now hear this. Deception doesn't always come with darkness. Sometimes it comes designed. Sometimes it comes with glitter, shine, color and compliments. Sometimes it comes in your favorite shade. But what you don't realize is, you're not wearing style, you're wearing a story. And it's not your story. When your wardrobe becomes a weapon, you don't feel it immediately. You just notice things slowly start to shift. You lose focus, your confidence leaks, you second guess your identity, not because of what someone said, but because of what you put on. See, the enemy's most dangerous strategy is not to attack you, it's to trick you, to make you wear the attack yourself. That way he doesn't have to follow you, you'll carry the curse for him. You bought the jacket because it looked cool, but what if it was created with a purpose beyond fashion? That ring passed down from your great-grandmother, what was it really used for? That designer brand that exploded in popularity overnight, who's behind, and what agenda is stitched into its label? You think you chose it, but sometimes it chose you. That necklace you felt drawn to, that charm you thought was just unique. What if that pull wasn't style? It was spiritual alignment. Let's be clear, deception needs a door, and clothing can be that door. It hides what the eyes can't see, a symbol that opens gates, a design that draws monitoring spirits, a stitched curse that binds progress. And yet all you did was get dressed. You went out confident, but came home exhausted. You stepped into a room with favor, but felt resistance in every conversation, not because of you, but because of what was speaking through you. You didn't know it, but the very fabric on your back was working against you. This is why some garments need to go. Some accessories must be destroyed, because you can't fight for clarity while wearing confusion. You can't demand freedom while carrying bondage around your neck. And here's the catch. It's not about how expensive it is. It's not about who gave it to you. It's about the assignment it carries, the frequency it releases, the agreements it holds. Ask yourself, what are you really putting on? Who are you representing? Because not every fashion is favor, some fashion is fate. But if your wardrobe can be weaponized, what happens when the enemy hides something inside the clothing itself? Up next, we reveal the hidden hands behind the seams, the objects planted not just to influence, but to control. It's time to check your clothes, not just for fit, but for footholds. You ever wonder why some things in your life just won't line up? No matter how much you plan, prepare, or pray, you take one step forward and two steps back. Doors close, peace disappears, and your vision gets cloudy. What if I told you, it's not just a coincidence, it's an infiltration? There are objects that carry more than material, they carry intent. Objects planted not to bless, but to bind, not to decorate, but to dominate. These are what I call spiritual implants, hidden hands, hiding in plain sight. Some of you are wearing assignments, carriers of confusion, markers of manipulation. You didn't buy them with evil in mind, but evil knew they'd find you. That ring you were gifted, that pin you picked up on vacation, That tiny item sewn inside your shirt lining that you didn't even know was there, it didn't just arrive, it was because listen, when the enemy can't stop you externally, he'll look for a way to embed himself internally, through access points, through objects, through physical things that carry spiritual codes, and here's where it gets deep. These objects don't need your permission to operate, they just need presence. As long as they remain in your space, as long as they touch your skin, they get to speak into your atmosphere. You ever notice a shift in your energy when you wear certain things? You felt bold yesterday, but today you're timid, anxious, angry or unfocused, and you can't explain it, but here's the truth. Something is speaking, and it's not in your ear, it's in your clothes. Some items carry markings, not visible to your eye, but loud in the spirit realm. Some carry ashes, some carry oil, some carry vows that were spoken in rituals you never attended, but the item was there, and now it's in your possession, now it's in your home, now it's on your body, and you wonder why your progress is stuck, why your dreams are delayed, why you can't seem to finish what you start. It's not you, it's what's with you, and until you remove it, you'll keep repeating the same frustrating cycle. Go back and inspect, open that drawer, flip that collar, turn that bracelet inside out. Some things were planted not for beauty but for bondage, and their mission to keep you limited, confused, distracted, diminished. This is why awareness is your greatest weapon, because when you can see it, you can separate from it. When you can name it, you can neutralize it, but you can't fight what you don't detect. And if these objects are speaking over you, what happens when the placement of the item is part of its power? Next, we uncover the truth behind where these objects are hidden, and why they're placed exactly there. Don't move. What's next may explain the warfare you've never understood. Some of you have been living under a ceiling you didn't build, fighting a resistance you didn't start, because something hidden in your life has been blocking the flow, and you didn't even know it. Let's talk about cursed closets. Not spooky, not haunted, just silent prisons, where the objects around you are keeping you from stepping into who you really are. See, when something is cursed, it doesn't have to move, speak, or even look evil. It just has to exist in your space long enough to drain you. And many of us have unknowingly become hosts to assignments we never authorized. You go to the closet, grab that lucky jacket, the one you always wear when you need a little extra favor. You don't realize it's not giving you power, it's taking it. That ring you wear every day, handed down from a generation filled with trauma and brokenness. It carries the record of where it came from. Closets are not just places of storage, they are places of spiritual memory. Some things in there remember every fight, every failure, every loss, because they were present for it. They absorbed it, they carry it, and every time you put them on again, you reactivate what should have been buried. You wonder why your clarity fades when you wear certain why you get angry, irritated, confused, but only when that particular piece is on you. That's not coincidence. That's a code, a garment with a voice, an item with an agenda. Some of us are not stuck because we're lazy, undisciplined, or unlucky. We're stuck because our atmosphere is cluttered with unspoken contracts attached to jewelry, headwear, undergarments, accessories, items that were created or cursed, with specific assignments to bind progress and block favor. And here's what's worse. The enemy doesn't need you to worship him, he just needs you to agree silent, and wearing something is agreement, keeping it is permission, ignoring it is compliance. So what's in your closet right now that shouldn't be? What item have you been sentimental about but spiritually suffocated by? What gift have you kept out of love, but it's secretly been locking doors in your life? It's time to purge with purpose. You can't expect elevation if you're clothed in contamination. You can't step into freedom while you're accessorized with bondage. You must be ruthless about what stays near you, because what stays, speaks. Go back to that drawer, open that box you haven't touched in years. Look at every item not just with your eyes, but with awareness. Feel what shifts when you touch it. Watch what happens when you wear it, because your breakthrough may be one object away. But even if you remove it, the work isn't done yet, because what happens when the object isn't visible, but is woven so deeply, you'd never know it was there. Next, we expose the disguises so well crafted, even the trained eye misses them. What's hidden in plain sight is still dangerous. You ever walk into a room and feel a shift? Not because of who was there, but because of what was there. Something unseen, something silent, but strong. Let me ask you, how do you fight what you can't even see? Because now we're stepping into the most dangerous layer of this battle, the objects that are disguised. So well crafted, so normal looking, so ordinary that even the most careful eye passes over them. But just because it looks harmless doesn't mean it is. See, the enemy knows if he came at you loud, ugly, and obvious, you'd reject it in a heartbeat. So instead, he wraps the assignment in beauty, in style, in culture, in emotion, and suddenly you're not just accepting it, you're protecting it. That bracelet you wear for heritage, that charm stitched into the hem of your jacket, that unusual design etched into the button of your blouse. You think it's detail, but it's deception, because hidden in the most innocent corners of our clothing are codes, spiritual codes, symbols that summon, patterns that permit, designs that declare, and while you're walking around feeling fashionable, the atmosphere around you is being framed, and you're wondering why the room turns cold when you enter, why relationships get tense, why blessings seem to dodge you, and it's all coming from something you never even noticed. These objects don't glow, they don't whisper, they don't move, but they function. That's the strategy, to embed them so seamlessly you'll never think twice, to sew them into the inside of your jacket, to hide them inside your headwear, to shape them into your jewelry, to make them look too beautiful to question. But here's the warning, anything that must be hidden to function is already dangerous, because the goal isn't to scare you, the goal is to stay with you, quietly, persistently, and once it's attached, it begins to leak. It leaks fear, it leaks confusion, it leaks delay, and now you're dealing with issues that medicine can't cure because they're not physical, they're spiritual. This is why you must inspect every gift, every free item, every accessory you bring into your space. Who made it? Why was it given? What's woven into it? Because some of these objects are like silent guards posted at the gates of your purpose, standing in the way without ever being noticed. It's not just about what looks good, it's about what carries weight, spiritual weight. And until you see it for what it is, it will keep operating under the cover of ignorance. But here's the real question. If these objects are planted with this much precision, who's assigning them? Because next, we're going deeper into the hands behind the harm and why you were the target all along. Don't blink. The truth behind the placement is more personal than you think. Out of all the people walking this earth, out of all the closets, all the homes, all the lives, why were these objects directed toward you? Why are you the one being drawn to strange gifts? Why do odd garments end up in your possession? Why does confusion and resistance seem to follow you, even when you're doing everything right? Because the answer is simple. You were marked, not by your past, not by your mistakes, but by your potential. See, people don't target what doesn't threaten them, and the spiritual world, it works the same. The enemy doesn't waste resources. If you've been targeted, it's because there's something valuable in you, something that terrifies the forces working against your purpose. So instead of attacking you outright, what do? They study you, they watch you, they assign people, gifts, and yes, objects to get close. Not to admire, but to infiltrate. Some of the garments in your home didn't just show up, they were planted. That necklace wasn't just a gift, it was an entry point. That lucky shirt you can't stop wearing, even though everything goes wrong when you do, that wasn't random. It was intentional, because behind every object with a curse, there's a hand that sent it. Someone who saw your light and wanted to dim it. Someone who felt your power and tried to confuse it. Sometimes it's a jealous friend. Sometimes it's a bitter family member. Sometimes it's someone you don't even know, but they sensed your destiny. This is why we must be aware, not paranoid, not afraid, but aware. Because if there's an assignment against you, there must also be purpose within you. And the more you rise, the more those assignments try to attach themselves to your environment. But here's the good news. You don't have to accept what was sent. You don't have to wear what was cursed. You don't have to carry what was never yours. You have the right to reject, remove, and destroy anything that doesn't align with your identity. Because now that you know who's behind it, you're no longer the victim. You're in position to be the breaker of the cycle, the one who ends the attack, not just for you but for everyone connected to you. But before you do that, there's one more layer we must uncover, one more secret, hidden in plain sight. Because if these objects can reach your closet, your skin, your mind, what happens when they get into your dreams? Next, we dive into the most silent battlefield of all, where objects don't just rest in your home, they follow you in your sleep. Wake up before it's too late. Now let's talk about the most dangerous zone of all, the place where your eyes are closed, but the battle is wide open, your dreams. Yes, while you're sleeping, resting unaware, things are happening, things are being spoken, things are being planted, and many don't realize the enemy doesn't need your body to be awake, he just needs your spirit to be unguarded. This is the space where cursed objects operate the strongest, not just on your body, but in your subconscious. And if you've ever had a night where you tossed and turned, felt pressure on your chest, couldn't breathe, or woke up exhausted even though you slept for hours, there's a reason. Objects carry assignments, and when your physical defenses are down, they do their real work through dreams. Some of you have been visited in your sleep, seeing things you couldn't explain, having repetitive nightmares that feel more like memories than imagination. You've seen shadows, you've heard names, you've had dreams where someone is chasing you, binding you, confusing you, and you think it's just fear or stress. No, it's spiritual communication. These cursed items don't need to speak audibly, they speak symbolically. They replay old traumas, they insert lies, they distort vision, and you wake up confused, angry, off balance, not realizing the item under your pillow, on your nightstand, or hanging nearby is the source of the disturbance. That ring on your finger while you sleep, that pendant on the dresser facing your bed, that piece of clothing draped over the chair, none of it is random. You've got to understand, the enemy is strategic. He doesn't wait until you're alert. He attacks when you're vulnerable, when your conscious mind is resting, but your spirit is open. That's when the whispers begin. And here's what's even deeper. Some of you have been given instructions in your dreams, and you've unknowingly obeyed them. You woke up and wore the thing that was shown to you. You went to that person who appeared to you. You accepted that gift in your sleep, and then it showed up in real life. That's not just a dream, that's a transaction. And if you don't become aware of it, you'll keep living under an invisible contract, one that didn't start with words, but with symbols, with images, with emotion. And now that object becomes a key, giving access to things you didn't invite, but allowed by staying unaware. So what do? You examine your surroundings, especially where you sleep. You clear the energy, you remove anything that doesn't bring peace. You pay attention to what keeps appearing in your dreams, and you ask the hard question, what is trying to get in? Because when it enters your sleep, it's trying to rewrite your destiny before you even wake up. But the question is, how do you destroy it? Not just remove it, but break its power completely. Next, we step into the method that ends its grip for good. It's time to silence what's been speaking over you. Now that you know what's been hiding in your closet, whispering through your dreams, and moving around your space unnoticed, the question is no longer what is it. The question now is, how do I destroy it? See, it's not enough to identify the object, not enough to move it, not even enough to throw it away. Some objects carry such deep assignments, such strong attachments, that they require more than disposal. They require destruction. You have to break the agreement, cancel the assignment, erase the access. Because here's what most don't realize. When an object is cursed, it's not the item that holds the power, it's the agreement it carries. And as long as that agreement is intact, the object remains an open gate. So if you just toss it in a trash bin, it doesn't break the cycle, it just relocates it. You've got to confront it, deliberately, forcefully, publicly. You don't destroy with fear, you destroy with clarity. You don't destroy with panic, you destroy with authority. You take the object, you recognize its influence, and you declare you no longer have permission here, because silence is agreement, indifference is permission, passivity is partnership, and the longer you keep these items near, hoping they'll lose their power with time, the longer they'll keep circling your mind, your house, your relationships, your health. Now pay attention. Destruction doesn't always mean fire. Sometimes it means shattering, burying, or breaking the shape so that it can't function anymore. The goal isn't just to get rid of it, the goal is to render it useless. That item that held energy, influence, and atmosphere, it must be dismantled beyond repair. Some of you are holding on to heirlooms, bracelets, coins, pieces of fabric, because you're afraid of disrespecting history. But let me ask you, what has that history cost you? If it's been costing you your peace, your clarity, your ability to sleep at night, then it's not history, it's bondage. And bondage has no business in your possession. And hear this, don't expect the object to leave quietly. Sometimes the moment you try to destroy it, strange things will happen. The environment may shift, a heaviness may show up, resistance may rise. That's how you know the object was never neutral. It was assigned, and breaking it means breaking something that didn't want to be broke. But that's where your authority steps in. You didn't come this far to live under what was placed against you. You've identified it, you've confronted it. Now it's time to break its back and shut the door. Because when the object is gone, there's still one more thing you need to do. You must now cleanse the space it occupied, or the void it leaves behind may become an invitation for something even darker. Next we go into the final step, the cleansing of your atmosphere, because freedom isn't just about what you remove, it's about what you restore. Now you've done the hard work, you've identified the hidden objects, the spiritual contracts that were silently influencing your life. You've broken the agreements, destroyed the items that were assigned to hold you back, and torn down every wall that was quietly built against your success. But here's the final step, the most critical yet often overlooked, cleansing the space. You see, just because you've removed the objects doesn't mean the atmosphere is automatically clear. The battle wasn't just about what was physically in your possession, it was about the atmosphere those objects created. When those cursed items entered your space, they brought with them more than just their physical form. They carried energy, emotions, and influence. And now that you've removed them, you must restore the environment around you, or else you risk allowing the same dark forces to slip back in. Think of it like cleaning a room after a storm. You might remove the debris, but if you don't air it out, if you don't refresh it, that stale air will still linger, and the storm's residue will remain. And if you're not careful, the space can start to feel heavy again, like something's still there, like the atmosphere hasn't fully shifted. This is why cleansing is so important. It's time to clear the space, open the windows, let fresh air in, and let the sunlight shine through every corner. You need to purify the environment, so that no negative residue can hang around. This can be done through intentional action. Remove the old stagnant energy by filling the space with positive forces. Use cleansing rituals, whatever resonates with you, whether it's lighting a candle, burning sage, using sound vibrations, or simply declaring your space free of any negativity. You must speak over your space. You must declare it renewed, whole and clear. Don't just clean it physically, cleanse it spiritually. It's essential to fill the vacuum left behind. The universe doesn't like a void. If you leave an empty space unclaimed, it will try to fill it with something else. This is the moment to introduce newness. Bring in fresh, positive influences. Reinvigorate your mind, your heart and your soul with purpose. Surround yourself with beauty, peace, and things that inspire you. Fill your home with items that resonate with your true essence. Things that reflect your growth, your progress, your peace. This is your chance to redefine your environment, a fresh beginning. But remember, this process isn't just about cleaning your home or your physical space. It's about rebuilding your internal space as well. Don't forget that the real power lies in what you carry inside you. Once your environment is cleansed, protect your mind, your heart and your soul from anything that tries to sneak back in. Keep the door shut. Don't invite back what you've already thrown out. The space is yours to create. The atmosphere is yours to shape. And now that it's been cleared, it's time to step into it fully. Because the life you've been waiting for isn't just out there, It's in the space you've just created. Now it's time to claim your future. Step into the freedom. Step into the power. Step into the life that has been waiting for you all along.